Events, meetings, and gatherings of any size, the Tompkins County Health Department recommends taking the following steps to prevent and reduce the spread of the disease. COVID-19 spreads through droplets. Keeping a distance of 6 feet is considered far enough to avoid most droplets in terms from speaking, coughing, or sneezing. Increase seating space and move to a large venue if possible. Ask attendees to avoid shaking hands, hugging, and kissing. Have tissues and hand washing available. If soap and water are not available, provide hand sanitizer. And encourage attendees to wash hands well and frequently. Build in breaks and reminders for hand washing. So obviously this is more tuned towards larger events, but we wanted to make sure we got this before we started.
Jerry, you're going to speak, so your time is
Okay, well, we're going to get started. So I'm David Marsh. I am the Secretary-Treasurer of the Tompkins-Cortland Building and Construction Trades Council. And we're pleased to announce that we are endorsing Anna Kelles as the candidate in the Democratic primary for the 125th Assembly District. We are excited about this race, and actually, way back in 2002, I was involved with a similar situation where we had many qualified candidates running for the 125th Assembly District after Marty Luster had retired. And at that time, we made a decision, the building trades, made a decision to endorse Barbara Lifton. And we are grateful to have had almost 18 years working with Barbara Lifton. And we see a lot of the same qualities in Anna, and we're looking forward to many years working with Anna as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about some of the things we hope to achieve working with Anna in the future. But again, we think we needed to make this endorsement now. There's just over 100 days before the primary. And in this district, the primary is the race. This district is heavily registered Democrats, and whoever wins this primary is going to be the next 125th District Assembly person. So I'm now going to introduce, well, first, before I go any further, I'd like to mention a couple things about the building trades. The building trades unions, there are 13 affiliated unions. That represents over, in Tompkins-Cortland counties, the area we cover, Tompkins-Cortland County, we represent over 3,000 members and their families, collectively between those 13 local unions. Today we have representation from, I represent Labor's Local 785. We have representatives from Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 267. We have representatives from Painters District Council 4 and representatives from Carpenters Local 277. And again, there's many other locals that are represented by this council and our members. So I think I'll turn it over now to Jerry Morley with the Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 267.
We need to lower that?
You can just take it.
You grab it.
I don't know, whatever you're comfortable with, just turn it.
Don't worry about the mic, I'll take care of it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jerry Morley. I'm a business agent for Local 267, Plumbers and Steamfitters. We're pleased to announce our endorsement for Anna Kelles for the 125th District. In our talks with her, she's very responsive to our union ideals and so forth, and we've known her for some time. Going forward with that, she spoke about manufacturing. And that's a key thing to us. For us, that provides very labor-intensive jobs that take a lot of people to complete the project. And then in a lot of factory settings, you have work down the road when they shift production to different equipment or they get new processes. We get a lot of work as a down the road asset of that. And we're looking forward to having more people who have, we have a lot of more maybe part-time jobs here or service-related. We think that the industry would be a nice boost for that because it's a full-time job with the opportunity for overtime and good benefits, health insurance, a way to retire with dignity for people so they don't have to work into their golden years, so to speak. And I think Anna will help us achieve that goal. And we're very excited about having a person there who work with us all the time for that. Thank you.
Does anybody else have something they want to say? No? Okay. A couple other things I'd like to mention. Like I say, we made a choice, hopefully this is working okay. We made a choice to endorse Barbara Lifton early on in that primary, and you know, ended up working for Barb for almost 18 years. And we just want to thank Barb for all the years of working side by side. What an awesome person she is, and congratulations to her on her retirement plans. And so I just wanted to add that in there, that we really did enjoy working with Barb.
It's not a problem. Just talking to, I'll catch it. I got you.
So the Building Trades Council and our members that we represent, what we are concerned with is that the work that is in the community is available to local citizens that live here in the community. Whether there are members or not, that should be going to local workers. And unfortunately, in the construction industry, that is not as common as you would think. A lot of the construction that has been built right here in downtown Ithaca has been built by people from Syracuse and I'm saying the actual workers from Syracuse or Rochester or further away. A good percentage of those workers are commuting, you know, whatever that is, 2 hour and a half or 2 hours or further. That's something that Anna understood immediately when we originally met with her when she decided to run for Tompkins County legislator position, and has worked hard on ever since. She gets it. She understands our concerns. And our members, through the union, give back to the community. They actually earn a pension. They have health care insurance. My retirees, 80% of them still live right here in the community. They do not leave because they can afford to live in New York. They can afford to pay their taxes because they have a pension. So it's kind of like a long-term investment in the community when you actually advocate for local union jobs. So I know a lot of people don't really understand what we mean by local union jobs, but it means a lot. And our workers, you know, it's hard, dangerous, dirty work, and our workers do get paid well for that. Some people think it's, you know, I don't know, some at least construction owners might say, well, your rates are pretty high. But what they don't realize is they don't always work. It's not always steady work. So sometimes you have 12 months of work, sometimes you only have 8 months of work. So it does, your income varies quite drastically. So it is important that every project matters, is my point. Every project that's built in the community matters. And Anna understands that, and I'm sure she'll touch on that. But that's really critical to us we know we're not gonna win every project. Our contractors have to bid competitively, that's fine. We just want them to have an opportunity to bid the project. Some of these developers that come in will not even entertain bids from our union contractors, our local union contractors. That's local businesses in the community here as well, and their employees. So we just want to continue to build on some of the momentum we already have in different parts of the county and state. There's a public works bill that's being considered right now that'll help. Hopefully that'll get through this year. So I'll turn it over to Anna, and she can tell you why she supports building trades. Thank you very much. Sorry, I do have one other announcement, and Anna doesn't even know this. Last night, the laborers had their local union meeting, and we voted to endorse Anna Kelles.
Oh, wait, we need to give you Perel. Give everybody Perel. I'm gonna come get it. We're gonna be safe, everyone. So, I actually, I'm making silly of it, but I'm very serious. I wanted to thank everybody who has been supporting, for everybody who wanted to be here but chose not to be here. because of the epidemic that we're dealing with. I thank you. I thank you for your support, and I also thank you for putting your own health first. I think that we all do. It's a small group that's here, but we decided to take most of this online because we did want to share it, but we want to share it in a context that's very responsible. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to the building trades. I very much, this is such an honor, and it's very humbling. I actually started coming to this building about, Marcus, 9 years ago. We had the Coalition for Sustainable Economic Development that was meeting here. Marcus and I were founding members, as was Dave, of that group. And the effort that we were working on was to connect economic development with the environmental movement so that we weren't against each other, but we were supporting each other. And when I spoke with the building trades a week ago, that was one of the things that came forward was, if we are going to help get local jobs back here, if we want to bring manufacturing back here, let's look into the market of renewables. Let's look into the sustainability market, because that is an arena where there is actually growth in renewable, or there is growth in manufacturing. There are companies that are working to build renewable energy infrastructure, and that's a hope. We're going to work collaboratively on that effort. That is super important. So that's one thing that we spoke about. Another thing that we spoke about, and I have been on the picket lines for the last 10 years with several of the members here, trying to make sure that if there are jobs that the people here in the unions can do, that they should have that first option to get those jobs, to bid for those jobs, and if the local labor exists, to get those jobs. As was said earlier, the unions have prevailing wage, they have benefits, these are good jobs. To see the unions expand here, to provide those jobs for people in areas that we very much need growth, that should be supported. That should be celebrated, and that's something that I want to do in collaboration with the unions. So the other thing that I did want to point out is that something that we need to look at are the public sector jobs, the municipal developments that are happening. Again, that we look at prevailing wage first, and that we create agreements with those developments so that our local labor unions can become a central part of those developments. So I personally am so honored. This is something that I will work for. This is something that I will make sure that I stay in connection with, because for me, one of the most important things is just listening. I think one of the relationships that we have had over the last 10 years is we are very honest with each other. If I misstep, I will know. If I need to hear a new idea or think outside the box, I think most importantly, I hope you all feel that you can speak the truth to me and be advisors for me. I think that every good candidate needs that more than anything, is good advice and to have an open ear. So that is something that I plan to always have in this work when I go to Albany and to fight for this. Thank you all again for coming. The few of us that are here, I'm glad that it is only a few. We're under the 25, that's really important. I'm glad we kept to that. And please, everyone, stay safe. And we will be taking this campaign online from here, but we will be fighting strong. We will have a strong online presence. If anybody has any questions, you can always reach out to us through our website, kellesforny.com. And it is going to be a very creative campaign from here on out. Everyone, please stay safe, and thank you so much for this endorsement.